Hey guys, so welcome to another vlog on the diversity and allyship. Basically, I wanted to talk about something that I noticed recently. Physics Today published a series of articles for Black in Physics Week from Black physicists around burnout. So Black in Physics Week is a hashtag and mostly on Twitter, I think. And it's basically talking about Black people in physics because they tend to be pretty rare, and it's basically making them more visible, celebrating their contributions. And as part of it, Physics Today has these articles. So this year their topic was burnout, but generally they had articles from really a variety of people. There was a couple students, a couple of like tenured professors, so kind of ranging from all the possible kind of levels in academia around physics and research. The first thing that I thought, first of all, was just like, I really hope they publish like essays from Black physicists outside of this week, because otherwise, like 1 week out of 52 is not a great ratio. Like, I mean, I haven't done math in 15 years, but like even I know that that's not a great ratio. So that was kind of the first thought. But like that, secondly, it was like, I'm really glad they did this because I read through the articles and they were just really relevant. I mean, like burnout is something that all of us have been going through for the last couple of years. So I just found that there were ideas and thoughts in there about burnout that were just really, really useful. Secondly, there was kind of this theme over all of them that really, really stood out to me, which was that most of them talked about that once they once they reached a certain level of success in the physics world, they were all expected to do diversity and equity initiatives, basically to help other Black people get into physics, right? Which makes sense. I mean, if it's obviously very difficult to get into the industry, and since they were in, they would want to help other people get involved. But like there was one particular sentence in one of the articles that really, really stood out to me, which was that basically, as a Black professor of physics, they were expected to also kind of take the lead on the diversity and equity initiatives. And I just had to stop for a minute. And I was just like, why aren't white professors expected to do the same? Like it's totally backwards, right? Like you sort of have somebody who has to scratch and claw their way into the industry, and then you're like, okay, well, now it's your job to help other people get there, right? Like there's a total lack of accountability or responsibility. It's just like, okay, you made it, so you get other people. Like I was like, wait a minute, like this is backwards, like why can't white professors be expected to do the same thing? Like why would there be a problem with that? Why wouldn't that be a thing that they would do? Like what are they worried that like, oh, they wouldn't want to like fire their colleagues because they're also white, like, or maybe they would not want to, have a more diverse department because like, oh, we can't do that. Or like, maybe it's just like assume that they're not going to like be open to bringing in, other Black professors. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I was like, hold on a minute. Like, what if we were holding white professors to the same standards of like, you should be working for diversity and equity, in your department? The Black professor, I can imagine, the Black professors and students, they can offer really, really valuable advice and guidance as like, this is what I went through, so here are some of the things that we could do in order to make it easier for people like me. right? But it should not be that they do all the work, right, to pave the way for other people, because that doesn't make any sense. And that's essentially, that's just propagating the same model, because like, if they're the one who is responsible, then like the white professors have no accountability, right? Then they can just be like, well, we made it hard for you and we're going to make it hard for the people who come in. Like, we don't have to do anything. There's no expectation. There's no accountability, right? And I think that this is something that you could probably extrapolate to other industries, you know, where it's just like, okay, if somebody who is a minority, not necessarily just Black, but somebody who is a minority kind of makes it in an industry which is not necessarily friendly to them, right? And then they're the one who are expected to pave the way. That doesn't actually, I don't think that actually starts to change anything. Like, obviously, if nobody else is gonna do it, like, it's great that somebody is there. And obviously it speaks to a level of compassion and empathy that they would want to help other people like them, you know, make it as well. That makes total sense. But what I'm saying is that the other people, the majorities, the people, the powerful, especially white people, come on, like, they should also be the ones who are championing for diversity in their departments, in their industries, in their scenes, whatever, because sometimes, you know, a lot of times the minorities' voices are not heard, right? Even in physics, for example, like, female voices are not listened to, right? They're just written off as like, okay, yeah, whatever, right? So the people who are listened to, they're the ones who need to be at the front of the train, right? Because then then I think there's more of a possibility to change. So anyway, that was today's rant, which is basically like, I read this sentence, and that as a Black professor, you're expected to do the work for diversity initiatives. And I was like, hold on a minute, that is the most backwards thing that I've ever read, in the sense that, like, every single professor, whether they be white or Black or Latinx or anything else, the male or female, whatever it happens to be, every single professor should be expected to work towards a more equitable environment. That's what I have to say for today. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.